disability inclusion. They have made Hitches and Voices a household name in Edo State by ensuring that this program comes to you live on television and on radio simultaneously. But back to the subject. Today we are talking democracy. Like I said, I don't know if I can refer to our nation's democracy as nascent. I would like to have your overview on this. What's your take on Nigeria democracy? Do you think it has properly evolved? Do you think our democracy can rank among celebrated democracy in other climes?
All right, thank you so very much. Thank you, viewers and listeners, for joining us again on Hitches and Voices. 29th May 2026, our democracy became 27 years, and that in an economy that is stable, in developed societies, if when things go according to plan, a man or a woman that is 27 years is already a father or a mother, have graduated and started living their life. So by no stretch of imagination should our democracy again be referred to as nonsense. 27 years down the line.
He's a grown man.
He's a fully grown man. And I'm happy that today, of course, that leads me back. Chief Anthony Enahoro was said to have moved for the independence of Nigeria in 1959 at the Western House of House of Region, the Western House. Then, when he was but 26 years. So when juxtaposed against our democracy, the Fourth Republic, that is already 27, you agree with me readily that it is not a baby anymore. But it's a long way. But of course, when juxtaposed with other democracies, United States, France, and all that, well, we are still a very long way away. But we're talking about June 12th, the 12th of June, and I'm sure many of these present, the Gen Z generation, they call them, except they do a little bit of history, may not have known why June 12th.
But unfortunately, history has been taken away
from our curriculum. Very unfortunately. You recall that on the 29th of May 1999, the military handed over to a civilian elected government, and President Olusegun Obasanjo became the president, and that day was set aside as democracy. But down the line, there was a clamor that before May 2029, there was a June 12th, where MKO Abiola, Moshood Kasumu Olayiwola Abiola, was elected by an election that are then adjudged to be the freest and fairest election that was organized, where he won, had a landslide victory on the way to become the Third Republic president on the 12th of June 1993. Unfortunately, that process was cut short in that the elections were annulled, I think on the 23rd of June that same year, by the then head of state, General Badamasi Babangida. And of course, a year after, he declared himself in 1994 as as president, saying that the military under Abacha was unwilling to hand over to him. He was incarcerated, and in 1998 he died. The first from his own part of the region, Ogun State and the whole of the Western region, continued to clamor that he should be recognized as an elected president, even though that process was cut short because he was sliding to victory very comfortably before that whole process was stopped. So for the Western states, they continue to recognize June 12th as Democracy Day. That for them, that is the proper day of democracy, and would even declare those days as public holiday. But Mohammed Buhari, of blessed memory, the president between 2015 and 2023, I think a year or two before he left office, recognized June 12th and declared it a democracy day. What this president has done now is that June 12th is not, no, I think Buhari recognized that Abiola actually won the election and that he declared him as a former president. But this administration has properly recognized June 12th as Democracy Day. And instead of having a public holiday on the 29th of June, 29th of May, June 12th has now been declared as Democracy Day. However, the handing over day and change of government from one administration to another remains on the 29th of May because it's a constitutional matter. But my take would be that the National Assembly should allow this to reflect. This is popularly accepted to move our Democracy Day by 13 days from May 29th to June 12th. Not, however, this administration or parent elected president and National Assembly, state governors and state houses of assembly benefiting from it. But this administration can do that so that whosoever is elected next will know that the taking over date and handing over date will not be on June 12th. No need to recognize May 29th and also recognize June 12th simultaneously as Democracy Day. So that's the brief history of what has happened. So Nigeria is no longer, we are a grown adult, and we should be seeing some features of an adult who is actually growing and in charge.
All right, you said something very stunning, that a 26 years old Auntie Onaru moved for the independence of Nigeria.
Yes.
And I'm wondering where our current 26 years old, where they are now. I'm sure they are out there hustling for jobs, trying to get themselves one employment or the other. Meanwhile, years ago, a young Anthony Enaro had the opportunity to be in an assembly where he could move that motion. One would have expected that we would have evolved to a point where we have younger people in position of authority to impact governance. But like you said, a 27 years old child is a grown man, and there are certain things expected of him. And we are hoping that we'll continue to mature. But let's come back to disability participation now. There's the issue of democratic inclusion. Do you think our democracy as it stands today is more inclusive of persons with disability? And what does democratic inclusion looks like?
All right, thank you very much. In democracy, we say there's always a social contract between the government and the people. And that is what distinguish or differentiate the system of government to other types of government. Whether the monarchical system of government that is largely by hereditary, or the authoritarian system of government, or the theoretical system of government, where people take either by religious inclination or by other forms assume rulership position, not even leadership. But any form of democracy, being parliamentary, presidential, provided the people have the free choice, can participate and decide who their elected representatives will be. It is said that the people willingly donate their power to their representative, and therefore a social contract exists between the government and the governed. And I think that opportunity to participate in those who lead you should be the starting point. You don't wake up and say government is not responsive and responding to the yearnings of their citizenry, when in the first place you have no say whatsoever in either due to lethargy or you fail to perform your civic responsibility, or the opportunity to so do was not even provided in the first place. The point I'm struggling to make is that democracy starts from when the people are able to participate and decide who leads them. And it is to that extent that inclusion should be the bedrock and the watchword of every system, democratic system, that is aimed at bringing everyone on board. And to how inclusive can we say the democracy is for persons with disability, I would say the conversation is on, but we are yet not there at all. We have started because I recall that I and the organization I lead, NABID, or Network for the Advancement of People with Disabilities, were a part of a process where we campaigned for Access Nigeria Disability Vote Matter campaign, where we engaged the Independent National Electoral Commission, the National Assembly, and other relevant governmental bodies to the end that they would make our electoral process and open enough for participation by persons with disabilities.
All right, we'll go to the issue of electoral participation. They usually say that in democracy, majority have their way, and the minority can have their say.
And only have their say, yeah.
I know that the community of persons with disability, we are in a minority in terms of our population and in our democracy. Would you say we've had our way, or we've been able to have our say, even though we can't have our way?
Well, I don't know how much you are in minority. It depends on what your calculations are. We are talking about over 35 million persons with disability in this country. And if we are able to harness that, everyone come together, I think the community of persons with disability as a constituency can sway election in any direction in this country if we properly harness. By what margin, what was the participation of the vote in the 2023 election between the candidate? We had a little over 25 million people participating in that election. And so I wouldn't really say that we have, as a constituency, that we are
in the minority.
Of course, if in any case, we say that we are the largest minority. That is how we like to brand ourselves. But of course, we know that we are not a political party, and so we belong everywhere. But the point will be that when it comes to advocacy for inclusion of this demography, the women group, for instance, and started long before, even the youth. Certain things were considered for the women and the youth group that we still yet do not have as a constituent.
All right, we'll stay on that subject, but we'll go on a quick break now. When we come back, our conversation continue with the Executive Director, NABID, Melody Omosa. Let's go on a quick break, and we'll be right back. It's still Hitches and Voices on Independent Television and Radio. My name is Kingsley Okoje, and our subject for discuss today is democracy and disability participation. And before we went on that break, my guest disagreed with me that the community of persons with disability, we are not in the minority. Nigeria has a population of over 200 million, and it is estimated that the disability population in Nigeria is well over 30 million. So that is not a minority, or we'll call it the largest minority, like you said. Let's go to the issue of electoral participation. INEC at a time talked about inclusion. It was a big issue within our electoral conversation. But I recall in the last election, it seemed to me, my personal opinion, judging from what I heard from other persons with disability who were in the field, that INEC seemed to have relaxed in terms of their commitment to disability participation in the electoral process. Where I voted, for instance, there were no brave ballot guide, not just for me, for other persons with disability who were there. People complained that there were no instructional materials for the deaf. Elections were held in places where wheelchair could not access. So a lot of persons on wheelchair would rather stay at home rather than suffer themselves to go to a polling unit that is not accessible. So when it comes to participating in the electoral process, either as voters, let's even stay with voting. What's your take? Where are we on that?
All right, thank you very much. Like I said, there was this campaign where we try to deepen inclusion in our electoral process with INEC, and we very well believe that engaging was the way to go. So we did not only advocate, but we were actually on ground to prefer solution. That's where the Brave Ballot Guide you talked about was designed in the first place. First piloted in Osun State in 2018 gubernatorial election that held on the 18th of September 2018, and thereafter deployed nationally at the 2019 general election. One would have expected that there would be a progressive use and coverage in terms of distribution of the use of the Brave Ballot Guide. And Brave Ballot Guide is a system by which visually impaired and blind voters can access the ballot independently and be able to vote for candidates and parties of their choice. Like I mentioned, used nationally in 2019. After then, we continue to engage INEC to find out how we were progressing. Since then, in every election, we have always monitored. I have always been on the field to see the inclusion and the deployment of materials for the blind, the hearing impaired, even those with albinism, the provision of magnifying glasses for them to use. And what I see is that, like you noted, INEC seemed not, the momentum seemed to have dropped. I wouldn't know what happened. I recall that not only did we provide this guide, these materials, assistive materials for INEC, we also embarked on collecting data to know where voters with disabilities, the polling units, they vote, so that with that record, INEC can deploy materials meant for the individual voters to use depending on the disability type. And we also ensure that the CVRO, Continuous Voters Registration, that INEC now have, would, in the process of registering, you would have your disabilities type and stated in the form, so that they know firsthand that you are one with a disability, and on election day, seamlessly, you'll be able to participate in the process. But that's not what we are saying. INEC has always had this logistic problem. And I think that for a group of persons with disabilities, for that matter, it should not be much a problem. Even though we know nationally they do have their challenge. But I would say that from what I monitored in the last election, I'm not impressed at the pace INEC is going. I think that, yes, it's fine that we had this problem 2018 when it was piloted, 2019 it was used nationally, and given the obstacles the election, if in the obstacles the election, organizing the election for a state like Edo, Ondo, and all that, you cannot successfully deploy these materials for the persons with disabilities to participate in the system. I wonder what happens in general elections.
I mean, like you said, this is a 27 years democracy. And we would expect that at this stage, disability participation in elections should be a given. It should not be something we are still urging INEC, trying to encourage INEC to do. It should be a foregone conclusion that persons with disability can indeed participate in the electoral process, because the electoral process is accessible and inclusive. So we can only call on INEC to do the needful. Let's move over to representation. Do you think that persons with disability are adequately represented in leadership and in governance?
Well, they are not. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability 2006, Article 29 has asks that state parties should open their political and public space for the participation of persons with disability. And that was also ratified by the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act of 2018. But what do we have? I think that as we tinker with our constitution, we have had the Fifth Amendment, and Of course, the INEC, I mean, the National Assembly is also making move to further come with amendment. I think we need to have seats reserved for persons with disability. It's not enough to come up and say by political parties, where for some of them will say,
but they say power is not served a la carte.
Well, we are talking about representation.
Of course, of course.
Government must be seen to be protective of the weakest, of the minority, of the vulnerable. And a minimum standard. Why are women asking for a 35% affirmative reserve for them?
Women?
For why are they asking that certain seats should be, 1/3 of the seats should be reserved for women participation? That's why I said that the youth, of course we have, power is not served a la carte, but we have the not too young to run be speaking to the participation of youth. But why are we not having something specifically directed at persons with disability, protecting their representative rights in the executive and in the legislative arm of
sorry for cutting in. Without mentioning any political party, I heard over the news that a particular political party has mentioned that as part of their policy, women and persons with disability who want to contest under their platform will be given their expression of interest free at a very minimal discount.
I say that is tokenism. That is just, that's playing to the gallery. It's like, oh, the Kingsley Okojen has the money to buy the form and I do not have, and we are contesting for the same position. You have paid for the form and I've given the form free. Who do you think the party will hand over the tickets to? The one that did not pay to contest and the one that paid for it. Until they make such persons their candidate to say, okay, we have reserved because this person have indicated interest, this party is presenting this person to run for that seat, then there's no guarantee. And even where parties are willing to do that, what is the assurance that other parties will follow suit? So I think the way to go is to have our constitution amended, to have a represent, and it is done in all democracies.
Like in Uganda, for instance.
Yes, in Uganda, even in Iran, in Iran and in Iraq, for instance, I know very well, which is an Arab nation. They have certain seats reserved for the Christian population, a certain percentage, right? That is an Islamic country, and so we see that everywhere that certain group must have some level of protection. That is not all they should have, but at least we shouldn't have a 360 National Assembly members with no one representing the disability community and issues. Like I said, we are not just only a community, we are a constituent, and our issues should be so serious. So I think that we will do more to amend our constitution to guarantee some level of protection. That way, it will be a far cry for disability representation. You look at the executive, you talk about women, you talk about youth. How many governor or president have in their cabinet a one with a disability holding a substantive position, apart from what they try to do sometimes, having an SSA on disability matters?
All right. But very quickly, in 30 seconds, I've known you over the years. I've seen people in politics and in governance. I don't think some of them have some of the qualifications that you have to contest. Looking at the future, are you considering?
I hope you know what I'm saying.
Are you considering contesting for any elected position? Because I know you are more than qualified, more than qualified than some of the persons I see out there. Would you consider that?
Not for the moment.
Yes.
We'll see what the future holds. But
because I'm preparing to be your campaign manager.
Thank you so much for offering that. But I actually want to see that our system change and our democracy, our electoral process have such integrity that people will believe participating will not be shortchanged.
All right, this is a wrap on the program today. Such an interesting conversation, always with the Executive Director, Navid Melody Omosa Esquire. It is our hope that as our country's democracy continue to evolve, that disability participation will become more inclusive and accessible for persons with disability. My name is Kingsley Okoje. spot the hitch, and be a voice. Goodbye.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Hi. Once again, welcome to this fitness show on ITV this morning. I'm Gato Destiny, aka Man of Steel. Already, I've introduced us to the use of cardiorespiratory exercises, otherwise known as aerobics. This morning, once again, we want to take another variation of the aerobics. Thank you as you watch. We will be stretching first, of course, otherwise called the warm-up, which is very essential and necessary in every workout. Afterwards, we'll do a cool down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inward, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Outward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please return that, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And outward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. For our waist and of course our torso, we have to do some stretching. Please place your hand by your side. And let's go. This direction first, please. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Alright, that will be fine. And of course this way. 1, 2, 3. Alright, and before the last one, let's place our hand behind our back. Mind you, it's proper this way. Don't go like this, it's wrong. Just do this or alternatively do this. Alright, but I prefer this personally. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that should stretch your back for you. Of course, let's do our thigh stretch. 1, 2, 3. Remember, when you pull your thigh, ensure that your elbow is directly facing, your knee is directly facing the ground. Alright? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that'll be fine. Guys, are we good? Yeah. Alright, the first program to be run this morning will be the mountain climb. Yeah, many of you are conversant with this move. And of course, we will be introducing more to you. But for now, let's hit this. Alright, let's step down to it. Yeah, all good? Yeah, good. Let's go. We're going 3 sets and 10 reps each. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woo. Alright, please. Woo. Yeah. How do you feel? Yeah. That was set 1. It's necessary you do your workout, the reps, and it's set. Alright, so that was the first set. And we're not wasting time waiting for the second set. The minimum break duration for every set should not exceed 20 seconds and a minimum of 10 seconds. Alright, we're good with 10. Of course. Let's do it again. Alright, let's go. 3, 2, hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, when you do this, more effect will come to your abdominal region if you just look up while doing it. What I mean is this. Alright? So not body weight is, but there's nothing wrong with staying this way. However, breathing your head might place more pressure. Alright, for the very last set of this mountain climb, let's get down, please. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, at this junction, we will take a water break. We'll join you in the next workout for this very session. Thanks very much. Once again, I'm the Auto Destiny. Alright, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whoa. Yeah, the other leg, what time is 3, 2, 1. Please, when you do this, ensure that your knee gets to the level of your chest. Okay? Well, that's the maximum level you get. And of course, the minimum here. I understand not everyone is as flexible as I am or as anyone here. Please, will just keep it safe and do the right thing. Thanks very much. Alright, we'll go on the left. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whoa, that's exhausting. How do you feel? Yeah, thank you very much. And this is the last set of this workout. Remember, every workout should be done this set and the rest. Alright, thank you. Let's do this. Let's go to the left, to right, brother. 3, 2, 1, let's hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, we'll also let's go. 3, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whoa. Wow. And that'll be all for this morning. Alright, remember, I said in the beginning, before any workout, there's need for a warm-up. And after that, there's also need for cool down. And this is the cool down. Alright guys, just sustain the breath, watch this first. Ensure that your knees are locked, alright? This one goes with hamstrings, the calf, and as well as the lower back. Doing this. Swing it, swing it, swing it. Got that? Alright guys, let's do this. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, just like 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright. So, lastly, what we did before we started, let's stretch it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's the last thing. Yeah. Please let's target our hamstrings. Do this. Just sit inside of it. Alright? Please do not stand on it. Keep attaching like this. And hold stand just this. Alright? Stand 1, 2. Yeah, this is a form of squat though, but this is not the purpose of developing or building the hamstring muscle, just for stretching it. Yes, today you do not need to use weights to build your pectorals, your chest, and of course your biceps, your biceps and triceps. You have programs you can do at home and get what you want. You understand? So we'll be doing push-up this morning, otherwise called push-ups. We'll do push-ups this morning. And of course, we do have our ladies. There are variations for ladies. Please watch them very closely to get, if you're a lady out there, watch them closely to get what you have to do. And of course, our guys are here. Thanks very much. Let's hit it, guys. Are we ready? Are we good? Yeah. We're going to do the pyramid first, which is the closed wrench and push up. Alright, let's go. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whoa, how does that feel? Yeah, that's the first set for this morning. And we'll be doing 3 sets of that. Meanwhile, the first one was close your hand in the pyramid shape. And that one goes for the tricep. For ladies that have sagging hand, you can do that actually, and it will help you. And of course, this time around we're doing mid-open, and finally we'll do wide range of it. So we're going there now. The mid-open. Let's go. 3, 2, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, that's for the mid open. And someone wants to ask, why exactly are the ladies crossing their legs? I mean, why they cross legs for ladies? Now you understand that the guys have more defined muscles, and of course to bring more weight on the upper body, we go on the what's called the toes, picking all the weight in the body to the upper body. But for ladies, they do not need much weight, just that. So we break it down at the knee level by crossing the legs. So the weight used starts from this very region. You understand? Alright, thank you for watching. Alright, for the last very set of these exercises, the wide range or the push-up, particularly intended to build the, the side of the chest. Do you understand? Alright, let's hit it. Okay, this is wide enough. At least double your shoulder width. Double your shoulder width is enough. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. How many of you noticed I cheated there? I actually did 1. I did 2 and called it 1. Yeah, just to lay more emphasis on that part. But today, thank you guys. Yeah, we're awesome. But today, we're done with this. Thanks very much for watching. Please be safe.
In the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a strive. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, ITV, certainly the best.
Ugieni Madonna, Imagedion, Orero, Oresniagbo, Emanazo, or Ugieni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will update you of your title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the Elders Council, an individual must have reached a certain age and must have made significant contributions to the community through leadership, service, or other meaningful ways. There was jubilation in the community as sons and daughters of Okada, both at home and in the diaspora, trooped out to be part of the ceremony with various hymns of the initiates agog with festivities. Friends and well-wishers of those initiated into the Elders Council jubilated at the Ogwedion after performing all traditional rites. The elders, known as Edion, in company with their loved ones, danced to their various homes where guests and family members were entertained.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is, the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the royal family takes the stage as their children fight out royally and work in the community to showcase their might and fitness.
My leader.
some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, Ọba Tope. Yari yari,
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to the AM News on Independent TV. My name is Evan Sunokugi. The Edo State Special Criminal Court, established to fast-track the prosecution of kidnapping and cultism cases, has closed the prosecution's case in the trial of 4 suspects linked to the June 14, 2026 vegetable market kidnapping in Benin City. Donald Hemeye reports.
The prosecution has closed its case before the Edo State Special Criminal Court in the trial of 4 suspects accused of involvement in the June 14, 2026 vegetable market kidnapping in Benin City. The court, presided over by Justice Terry Momodu Aigbona, admitted the testimony of its final witnesses, bringing the total number of prosecution witnesses to 7. The court also admitted key exhibits, including the defendant's confessional statements provided by the investigating police officer, Inspector Jimo Osai Koba, a firearm, a mobile phone, and the Lexus RS 350 SUV allegedly used in carrying out the kidnapping. With the prosecution having concluded its evidence, the court adjourned proceedings to Friday, July 24, 2026 for the defense to open its case and present its witnesses. Counsel to the first, second, and third defendants, Henry Uwanzo Esquire. Counsel to the fourth defendant, Felix Imasuen Esquire, and the Edo State Solicitor General, Steve Okoro Esquire, gave their reactions.
We have taken 7 witnesses and the prosecution have closed their case. And after cross-examination of the IPO, we'll take a date for us to open our defense.
The only relationship, and even even the IPO statement, he never said she was involved. He's only looking at the relationship, a text message that was made 2 months ago.
This has gone to show that the plan of the governor, executive governor of Edo State, who said he wants to push away all criminals away from Edo State, by establishing this special court. It has started and it has come to stay.
Proceedings continues on Friday, July 24 for the defense counsels to open their defense. From Benin, Donald Ehiminyeng, ITV News.
The Edo State House of Assembly has passed into law a bill for the creation of a revenue harmonization account to provide for the collection, management, control, and accounting of all revenue and public funds in the state. Assembly correspondent Joy Baisiagbon reports that the bill was passed during Tuesday's plenary.
After a heated debate during Monday's plenary, the lawmakers on Tuesday met at the Committee of the Whole to consider a new bill on the creation of a revenue harmonization account designed to repeal all existing laws permitting ministries, departments, and parastatals in Edo State to operate separate revenue accounts to ensure accountability of public funds.
A bill for a law to establish a revenue consolidation account for
In other directive, Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebako, instructed all 18 local government councils to submit payment schedules of all security personnel in their domains on or before 24th July 2026 to the chairman of the House Committee on Local Government, Honorable Ade Isibo.
Some problem between the officers and the chairman of the government. Payments of their stipends monthly. I want to compare all the chairmen to furnish the house with the payment of the officers in their various governments. The latest 24th of this month, please. Those schedule should be with the chairman of the local government committee.
From the Edo State House of Assembly, Joy Obaisiagbon, ITV News.
The University of Benin Teaching Hospital, UBTH, has entered into a partnership with independent television and radio on ways of expanding the frontiers for mutual benefits, especially in improving the healthcare services for members of staff of the broadcast organization. Pius Nsogo reports that this understanding was reached during a courtesy visit by the management of ITV and radio, led by the managing director, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, to the hospital's management, headed by the chief medical director, Professor Idia Ize-Iyamo.
The meeting was a move by the MD of ITV and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, on the importance of prioritizing the health and well-being of media professionals whose demanding schedules often leave them with little or no time for regular medical attention. Addressing the management of UBTH, Engineer Obaseki noted that media practitioners work round the clock to keep the public informed, educated, and entertained, often at the expense of their own health. He appealed to the hospital's management to partner with the organization by providing accessible and quality healthcare services for members of staff.
We have come to seek a collaborative partnership that will also boost and take the UBTH brand high up there, especially from the CSR. And we are in an environment where we practically work 24 hours.
Responding, the Chief Medical Director of UBTH, Professor Inibokun Idia Ize-Iyamo, expressed appreciation for the visit and highlighted some of the milestones recorded by her administration in less than 1 year in office. She said the hospital has undergone significant transformation aimed at improving service delivery, expanding access to quality health care, and strengthening public confidence in the institution.
We want UBTH to get to that level where when you come, you have a better service, it's more efficient, it's more modern.
Professor Idia Ize-Iyamo immediately approved the request for collaboration, affirming that the health of media professionals is essential to nation building. She assured the management of ITV and radio of the hospital's commitment to ensuring that members of staff receive the quality health care they deserve, despite the demands of their profession. The UBTH Chief Medical Director also congratulated independent television and radio on its almost 30 years of uninterrupted broadcasting.
30 years of no downtime. You know, there are other TV stations you will see we are not on technical issues, but I've never seen that with ITV.
The UBTH CMD appealed to members of the public to refrain from actions and comments capable of tarnishing the image of the teaching hospital.
UBTH is not a place where people are killed. It's not true. We give our best, 100%. Our nurses are one of the most organized, efficient, and best trained in Nigeria. The federal government has been giving us equipment. We have personnel. We have the oncology center, which was commissioned by the federal government to treat cancer, and we are the only center in the South-South.
The courtesy visit, attended by top management officials of both organizations, ended with the exchange of gifts as a symbol of goodwill. From Benin, Pius Nsogo, ITV News.
Away from that now, public reactions have continued to trail the Senate's passage of the Federal Road Safety Corps Amendments Bill 2026, which proposes a 50,000 naira fine for anyone convicted of hawking, trading, or preaching inside commercial vehicles. While some Nigerians believe the measure will improve safety and reduce distractions, others argue it could affect people's means of livelihood and freedom of expression. Ehis Ohunamori has the details.
The Senate passage of the Federal Road Safety Corps Amendment Bill 2026, proposing a 50,000 naira fine for anyone convicted of hawking, trading, or preaching inside commercial vehicles, has sparked mixed reactions among Nigerians. Some Benin City residents described the proposed penalty as too harsh, arguing that many bus hawkers depend on the trade for survival, while others maintain that preaching should not be criminalized if it is conducted peacefully and without disrupting passengers.
There are a lot of challenges on the road than to start zeroing on preaching in buses. I think it is trying to curb the religion of certain persons, and I don't think that that is what should be the priority of that commission.
The gospel that have been preached is one of the major tools that have allowed peace to reign as far as this country is concerned.
The sales of things in the vehicle, I do not see anything really wrong. There are better issues that is affecting the society that they need to talk about and work on.
Responding from Warri, Delta State, Comrade Ranti Taiwo supported the move by the Senate, citing the inconveniences the practice project in buses.
This is the best decision in that Senate House, because this issue of preaching in buses, motor parks, market square, every angle of the community is getting out of hand. It's becoming alarming.
If I'm a passenger in a bus, I have my rights to get my own cool environment. Not that somebody will come and start shouting, making noise. So I need my freedom and my peace inside that bus.
From Lagos, a legal practitioner, Jide Ologun, said Christians are concerned about the decision of government and the issues raised, but advised government to look into it deeply as it may spark reactions, especially from the Christian community.
What research has been done to say preaching in the bus actually causes accident? If the attention is on road safety, then why don't you make a law that all roads in Nigeria should be free of potholes?
Most Nigerians are calling on the government to balance public safety with the protection of citizens' rights and livelihood. From Benin, Ehis Ohunamori, ITV News.
The Edo South senatorial candidates of the Nigeria Democratic Congress (NDC) in the 2027 election, Mrs. Osayuki Pele Asemuta, has visited the ESL of Benin, Chief Sam Igbe, to solicit for support. The NDC candidate was accompanied on the visit by some party leaders from local and state levels. Jonah Omowa reports.
The House of ESL of Benin, Chief Sam Igbe, was agog with celebration as the Edo South senatorial candidate of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, Mrs. Osayuki Asemota, accompanied by family members and party supporters, visited the ESL of Benin, Chief Sam Igbe, to formally solicit for his advice ahead of the 2027 general election.
Obiesilo well. Na jerun sume. Na giodu wana mame. Na miege. Imuso no ma.
Some party leaders who accompanied her on the visit described the NDC candidate as honest, compassionate, and can offer the people of Edo South quality representation.
Arie la diane. If na magin you pay you way. Edo wo nede. O polose. Oye koko no ro wa ya fefe so kun wo mo ko lo se aye ana koko je o sun Abuja aye bi na re ya re la dia so kun o wa mama.
Traditionally, as a responsible child, she has said before she will commence her campaign, it is customary and required on her part to come and see and announce to her family that she's the candidate of the Senate for Edo South on the platform of the Nigerian Democratic Congress. That is why we are here.
The brief visit also featured offering of words of advice for the NDC Edo South senatorial candidate by the ESL of Benin, Chief Sam Igbe. Women and youth groups from within and outside the party were among those who added glamour to the visit. From Benin, Jonah Omowa, ITV News.
Parents have been urged to be living examples to their children and nurture them in the way of the Lord. The senior pastor of House of Favor International Church, Reverend Lucky Onaiwu, gave the admonition during a Thanksgiving service to climax the church's 2026 Children's Week. ITV UK correspondent Rosaline Eburame reports.
Little Brian, Obosa, and Janaya led the congregation in a lively praise and worship session, while the younger children thrilled the congregation with Bible recitations, earning loud applause.
Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack.
The older children rounded off the competition with Ehosa Fruitful, emerging as the overall winner, and was presented a prize.
First, small but mighty.
In his sermon, the senior pastor, Reverend Lakene, who urged parents to encourage their children in the way of the Lord and to live exemplary lives worthy of emulation.
God wants us to adopt that kind of lifestyle with children, and that we should be humble. We should not allow things around us to dictate how we will get with our sense.
Earlier in the week, the children took part in outdoor activities, including games and recreational activities at Roski Park, East London. The program commenced with a special thanksgiving to God, themed Intentional Child of God.
We're intentional about raising up our children and prioritizing our very own children first. A better child brings about a better society.
The performance of the children has been brilliant. It's been wonderful. It is by God's grace.
The resident pastor commended the children for their impressive presentations and applauded their teachers for their support and dedication.
Hofik London children are doing excellently well. To be able to recite memory verse off by heart is something super powerful. The future is bright for House of Favor.
The program gave children the platform to learn, grow, and express themselves, and the church is hopeful that lessons and valid gains during the week will continue to shape the lives of the younger generation. From House of Favor, London, Rosalie Eburame, ITV News.
Away from that now, Commandants of Nigeria Commandants of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Edo State Command Akintayo Seidi Ayinla, says the command nabbed a syndicate that specializes in selling lithium batteries and other telecommunication valuables. He dropped the hint in Benin while parading the suspects who stole its lithium batteries worth over 16 million naira. Efusa Wangwe has the details.
Recently, the NSCDC command received a report of vandalism at an IHS telecommunications site where 8 lithium batteries were stolen. Each of the lithium batteries was said to have been valued at over 2 million naira, which prompted officers of the Critical National Assets and Infrastructure Department, working with the Intelligence and Investigation Department, launched an intelligence-driven operation. According to the Commandant Akintayo Saidi Ayinla, investigation traced the movement of the stolen batteries from the site, identified the vehicle used to transport them, and the driver invited and cooperated with the investigators by providing useful information that led to further arrest. The Commandant said, based on the information obtained, the command arrested the alleged team leader, Engineer Yusuf, from Okada, as well as an insider who had access to the facility and believed facilitated the operations.
We are no longer interested in arresting only the people who physically vandalize infrastructure. Our focus is now on dismantling the entire criminal network
The Edo State NSCDC commandant said the personnel also raided suspect receiving points in Benin City, where 2 shop owners suspected of buying stolen telecommunications equipment were arrested. He said further investigation led to the identification of the main receiver, Mr. Victor Gwefun of Igbanke, Orion local government area. Commandant Kitoya commended the officers and men of the Critical National Assets and Infrastructure Department and the Intelligence Investigation Department for their professionalism.
Let me also use this opportunity to warn those involved in this illegal business that the Edo State Command will continue to deploy intelligence and technology to track.
Some of the suspects comment on their level of involvement in the crime.
In a battery, in a bad condemned battery. Now you tell me.
Yeah, I still am, yeah.
From Benin, Efosa Wangwe, ITV News.
2 people believed to be mother and child have been sighted living by the friends of the Benin Specialist Hospital along Sapele Road in Benin City, who, according to passers-by, have been there for the past 1 month. Joy Obaisiagbo reports.
May government check so many craze too for the town. What they see now for Benin? It's not too much. Different level of human being in the town.
The sight of a middle-aged woman and a young man believed to be her son living by the fence of the Benin Specialist Hospital directly adjacent to the popular roundabout at the city center has drawn concern from passers-by and traders who say they have been there for the past 1 month with a bag of sachet water in sight, a sleeping mat, an umbrella for shield, and a bathing soap.
Whenever I pass, I see these people here for over 1 month ago. And this thing has been has become an issue of concern because, you know, the sun is beating so much, very scorching and rain. And you can see this is center of Ring Road, center of Benin. I approach these people, I try talking to them, but they are not just responding. So it's like I'm suspecting they have something mental illness.
Although they are yet to speak publicly on their situation, the development has raised calls for intervention, urging the Edo State government to investigate the case and provide necessary assistance.
This one, may government come check waiting make am because this thing now they suspension worker. May government come try to know who it be because this as a woman sleep for the end there, the boy not be like who they craze.
Government should please try and do something. Find a way to move all these people from stands to go at least put them. This place is not good for people like this hanging around.
The Edo State Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development could not be reached for comment on what government is doing to assist the destitute in the state. From Benin, Joy Obaisiagbo, ITV News.
The Ebonyi State government has intensified the enforcement of its ban on graduation, valedictory and prize-giving ceremonies across public and private schools, deploying over 106 surveillance and security personnel to monitor compliance across the state's 13 local government areas. Addressing the monitoring team during a briefing in Abakaliki, the state capital, the Ebonyi State Commissioner for Primary and Secondary Education, Donatus Ilang, charged the officers to enforce the directive without compromise. He issued a stern warning to defaulting schools, emphasizing that any institution found violating the policy would face severe sanctions. The commissioner disclosed that investigations are on the way into more than 158 schools reported for allegedly breaching the directive. He added that principals, head teachers and proprietors who fail to refund graduation levies illegally collected from parents will soon face severe disciplinary measures. And still on the news now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has sentenced the 2 senior commanders of the Ansaro terrorist group on an Al-Qaeda-affiliated extremist organization to life imprisonment after they pleaded guilty to multiple terrorism-related offenses. Justice Emeka Witi handed down the sentence after convicting Abaka Abba, popularly known as Abu Bara, and Mahmoud Usman, also known as Mahmouda, on the 13 counts of charge filed by the Department of State Services on behalf of the federal government. The charges included terrorism, financing, kidnapping for ransom, illegal mining, fabrication of improvised explosive devices, and other offenses linked to terrorist operations. The court sentenced both men to life imprisonment on counts of 13 and 31, while imposing additional 20 years of prison terms on the remaining counts. Justice Nwite ordered that the sentences on other accounts should take effect from the date of their arrest. According to the prosecution, the two men were among the most senior leaders of Ansaru, a terrorist group designated by the Nigerian government and widely regarded as an affiliate of Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb. And with that story, we're in the news this morning on Independent Television. My name is Evan Zunokoge. Do have a pleasant day ahead. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
In a rare display of botanical brilliance, the palm tree defied natural norms, sprouting multiple branches that bear fruits. This rare occurrence